7:30, June 10th, regular board meeting. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Crump, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bido. Further discussion? Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say. Carried. Any public comment? Seeing none, hearing none, moving on. Consent agenda. I'd approve a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Olson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Holdman. Further discussion? Further discussion? Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carried. Discussion and possible action, bus routes for the 26-27 school year.
Transportation Committee met last week to discuss the bus route situation, so what they're bringing it forward to you guys tonight. Basically, this is not a formal vote or motion, more just your approval and awareness. We have still only 2 route drivers. Last year we had 4, despite efforts to recruit. And we want to give families a heads up sooner rather than later to be able to, I had somebody ask me a month ago, like, can you just tell us soon what the plan's gonna be so we can make a plan? So the discussion coming out of there was to follow a similar plan than we did almost 3 years ago, 2023, 2024, which is pick up spots and drop off spots with times. I have just one copy of what it looked like from 2 years ago that I can pass around. But basically not going to homes and having specific times. This is not ideal. It's not something we like, but we don't know what our alternative options are.
This is for everyone then, would be
Everyone.
a stop?
The only,
Pickup stop?
yes, the only slight difference from 2 to 3 years ago is that, Mr. Kruger has tentatively, without getting all the details here, but tentatively agreed to do a shuttle between the schools, which would be very helpful just for numbers and number of kids we have in town. So we would still pick up in towns, but pick up spots too. We're not going to every house. But we have the space with that shuttle. It's the timing to get out to all the other spots. Anything I missed?
Like in all 3 towns, or technically 3 towns, 1 spot in each town.
Or a couple. Like, that's what we already do in Christine. We stopped twice, maybe 3 times, but like, we don't stop at every house
No, I
at
know.
all. But like, for example, in Colfax, we probably, between the 2 buses, probably stopped 5, 6 spots. Now maybe 7, but we maybe stopped fewer.
We stopped 5 or 6 times in Colfax.
But 2 buses go through.
2 buses,
Oh.
but between 2 buses, maybe stopping 3 times, but it's quick, right? They're there and, so we probably wouldn't stop as much. They wouldn't see a huge difference. It would be a little different for them.
How close we pick up from the school to have 6 pickup stops? in
We
Colfax?
go up the street. Passing by, so,
One at my corner at Linden and Graham over, and then the next one would be up where Erdal's live.
Gotcha.
And then
Yeah.
one.
There's 3 up north.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mhm. And really, it's, the issue is, the challenge is our rural kids, or just anybody out of town, and getting to them in time with 2 buses. So, it's nice that Mr. Kruger is willing, and because then it helps with timing a bit, and it helps with space on the buses.
So what's kind of the general timing, you know, how, does this make kids have to get on the bus super early
No.
compared, or not as early? Okay.
Yeah, probably bumps it back out.
Yeah.
They're not-
Yeah, I
Okay.
put the times on this, well, this one started 2.5 years ago. It started at 6:55 or 7, so the timings are very similar.
Okay.
I think the concern more would be if they're having to wait there for 12 minutes at a remote location versus their home.
Yeah.
The-
So that's why
Efficiency.
when we followed a plan like this, and Earl reimbursement a couple of years ago, that was what we had, talked with the bus drivers the most about, was that we have to stick to the timing. Because
Yeah.
they're not at home. And often parents are sitting in the car with them.
Yeah.
But that's why we try to be anyway, but we have to be really strict with this.
obviously
Do the parents ever
spots in
leave
a-
them out there? Like, do you,
Well, out in the country,
yeah,
Not
like at a
really.
stop, okay.
Well, my next, where do we have them before on an approach, or where do we pick them up? That's not.
Depends.
Like where
Some-
cars parking.
Yeah.
sometimes it was on not an approach, but on another crossroad, between a county road and a township road. if you happen to live on the county road, there might have been a stop right there. I mean, the one thing that I remember, this probably might not happen again, but Dallas's place right there. And then he agreed to let like 3 other families come and meet right there. So they picked up a bunch right there. That's kind of an odd rarity, but on the crossroads, not necessarily on a field approach, no, because there's not, we might have 2 or 3 families there and there's not enough.
And obviously works before, right?
It did,
What else?
it was a situation.
What are our choices?
Right,
You
I'm
know?
just saying, having kids out on
We
the
could,
gravel
we
road.
could pull Grand Forks and charge $525 a kid.
That's really what it came to. This is from 2.5 years ago. We,
It's just-
right.
Yeah.
Well, we could pay them more.
We haven't built out the new plan yet because we wanted the kind of go ahead first. To answer your point, to your point, what other option do we have? We're not, that's what we talked about. What else would we do? Otherwise, I mean, someone could say, start an hour earlier and have the drivers run double routes. Well, then we're picking up kids at 6 a.m. and then we need somewhere then we have to provide before school care for those kids I mean, it's not feasible.
About how many kids at each stop, or does it vary
Totally
totally?
varies.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you go really pretty far out and it could be only a couple.
We had, my stop was always like 4 vehicles, 4 families. They were fun. Inconvenient, but we lived through it. We had service, we didn't have to drive to town.
Yeah.
Right.
And the spots will vary from what we've got on there, some of the spots,
Sure.
just because of the logistics of the
Yeah.
kids.
Kids are different.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
I know we briefly talked about it, but is there any advantage, or is it even possible to pay someone to be at the school 15 minutes earlier and have the school as a drop off at like 7:45? Cheaper than another bus route driver.
I think we tried before. I'll have to go back and see how it went. I don't know if we couldn't find anybody
I think we were short staffed. And
And
then,
that probably was.
and then I think we offered,
to a couple people. I
To
think,
some
right?
people
Now that you
too.
say that.
you know, maybe not us pay them, but I can't remember what the deal was, but to have. I can't remember how it worked, but.
I just say like for
Yeah.
Colfax, if you look at the spot between the 2 gyms, it's something you can isolate so the kids aren't running through the school.
Mhm.
And maybe that's a spot where that's where you spend your next 20 minutes until.
I think parents have, I probably would call one parent and ask because it almost becomes too late of a pickup. It's almost more an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Too early because they gotta get going to work or whatever. If they could just drop them off at
Mhm.
school at 7:25 or 7:30, whatever that is.
And you'd almost have to get a handle on how many kids that is. Is it 10 kids or
Yeah.
is it 50? You
And
know,
I think what we would look at maybe is to compare it to this year, for example, because I mean, the Colfax kids, they didn't get picked up. Some of them didn't get picked up till 8:05, 8:10. So I think for some, it's not gonna be much different.
Right.
It might just be fewer stops. The biggest impact for people that are rural families that mom and dad have to figure out if they're gonna stay with their kids, especially the little ones. So I'll look back to see, I know we had a couple requests a few years ago and I don't remember if it was staffing or what piece it was. I think it was something that wasn't advertised. It was based on like some unique situations, I think, that we were gonna offer because we didn't have the staffing to just open it up to the whole district. You know, that would be tough.
And
no, I think.
who
it would
might
have
just
to be
on a
reserved
random
spot,
and
Just like a bus seat.
end up with more.
Yeah.
Thanks Earl for.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So,
Kendra and Brittany are
Well, we haven't done much yet.
awesome.
More to come.
Hang
We work
on.
together, it works fine, works
And
good.
It does, we do, thankfully. But the idea was, I put it out twice already to our families this spring. Because worried that this was gonna be the case and not wanting them to be surprised. So they've heard it twice. The idea is, unless there were concerns today, I would send an email tomorrow or Friday this week and say, here's what we're thinking. I'll still say, we're still looking for drivers. We pay for the training, we pay for the certification. If you know somebody, like, we will gladly change the plan mid-year, like we did a couple years ago. So don't stop looking, but we need help too finding drivers.
Other questions?
so I mean, it's hard I mean, you want the support from the board and we're gonna back you. I mean,
Yeah, it's really just, this is the plan, and unless you guys say no, figure out a different alternative, and we bring you different alternatives.
we talked the other meeting and like, it's weird for me to put a motion out to adapt this plan, you know what I mean? But it's more of the support of
Yes.
our administration and staff and bus drivers and all them doing their job.
Mhm.
But I still think it comes, relay the message that this is what it tentatively could be,
Mhm.
to.
Mhm.
Or this is our option now. Maybe
This is
that's
the
what it is.
plan, this is the plan now unless we get more drivers.
Yep. That's good communication.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Reports, is that your report?
No,
Okay.
I don't have too much room for it though. The only item I had, was about, the contract that you just approved on the consent agenda for an elementary teacher. And I just wanted to explain it a little bit, so that it, as best I can. The vacancy we have right now, the hiring is for the vacancy at the elementary school, which is intended for an elementary special education position. And with how we've had that posted and what we know, we've had zero applicants. It's extremely hard to, sadly, but statewide, everything to hire in special education. We have been meeting with our South Valley Special Education directors to figure out alternatives. We interviewed a couple people who like are basically teachers beginning out, starting to get their licensure. That was a maybe. So long story short, we said, well, what are all our alternatives if we just can't, it can't be filled. And the alternative that was recommended to us by our South Valley Special Ed leadership was if we could have a certified teacher who's providing the academic minutes for students for these students on IEPs. They can't do what's called case management. Case management is doing all the paperwork, doing the evaluations, running the IEP meetings, things like they cannot do that, but they can help provide minutes. And so we adjusted, we didn't change the posting, but we put out to people who had previously applied to some positions because we had many great elementary applicants. We threw it out there and said, here's the position. It wouldn't fully be special education because we know you're not licensed. We're going to work on that part, which I'll explain in a moment. But you'd be doing a lot of small group academic instruction today and working closely with our special ed team and had like 5 or 6 people instilling interested and held interviews. And this Stacia was fantastic, new grad out of Concordia. So she will be providing many of the minutes. She'll be part of IEP meetings, won't be leading them, won't be doing the paperwork. We will be contracting with the same person who's doing a lot of our high school case management because we're in a similar situation with the high school and she has room in her schedule. And we've budgeted out to make it work. So we'll have this outside person doing case management and person on site actually providing the instruction. I know it's kind of confusing, but it solves the issue. It costs a little bit more in some ways. It not maybe doesn't cost as much more because, to be honest, because it's a new grad. But it's a special ed certified who's going to have a master's degree and all that. So it's not as much as you think difference between the two.
Good solution. That was great that you had those candidates
Yeah,
ready to go.
it was. And she's excited and we're excited about her. I think the kids will really like her. And so we do have like you guys had approved like 1.5 within special education and 1.5 additional with the intervention. So we do have Heather Roberts who's we had hired a month or 2 ago for the other position before Mrs. Peterson had resigned. So that's they'll be working together, these 2 individuals plus the outside case manager. Thanks. That's my report.
Okay. Finance Insurance Committee, I think we got a special meeting, and that was the majority of our meeting in regard to that, so took care of that, property transportation.
We covered most of it. I think we're gonna, just to put it out there, one of our old buses that's retired, that's still around, the fire departments want to use it for training, so hopefully they can get a chance to do that, to do some training on a live, or not live, but a bus situation, so.
And the mower.
Yes, and then, mower, we're looking at getting a mower for the football field. It's being cut 3 times a week. Looking at a solar mower, or a solar, electric mower. That would help alleviate some of the timing maybe on it more than anything else. How about it?
So if you get calls about the unmanned mower football field,
You've
it's on
talked about
purpose. Yeah, we put in the order.
Okay.
So should be soon.
Should help with everything. Grass, maintenance over there. That's what it.
Foundation report?
Yeah, we had our regular monthly meeting last week, which it was a very short meeting. A couple of things we talked about was just the foundation needing some office space and storage space. Kind of talked about how we might solve that issue, address the scholarship request and talk more about scholarships to the timeline. We're kind of changing the timeline for next year, moving them to the fall instead of the spring. Because that couple reasons, it's closer to the fall discussion that they have with seniors, like here's all the information for scholarships, et cetera. And then Mrs. Roth is great to work with the students too, in the fall and help them with essays and answers to questions, so it just made sense to kind of keep it closer to that. So timing will change for next year, and then we're also talking about changing the focus a little bit. And instead of having it be written answers with the possibility of an interview, kind of going into it as everyone will be interviewed unless there's an exceptional written response. And so we'll talk more about that and explain that to the kids as we get closer, but a couple little changes that way for next year. We're also getting together with the 44 venue board. The two boards are going to meet just to make sure all the new members are feeling comfortable with history and finances and everything like that. Got some financial updates, fundraising updates. That's what it.
Is this foundation thought about if it's continued to be a challenge on these scholarship applications, just tiering it? I mean, well, the school board set the 10,000. Maybe it's, if you write your name on it, you get $500, and if you knock out of the ballpark, you get 10 grand. It seems to me they're just assuming they get 10 grand no matter what they do.
Yeah.
That was kind of mentioned last month, like we could change, or whenever we talked about it. I think before that, yes, not super deep, not deeply. It was more, let's try this first, like we want to see better responses.
Because this is about the second or third time now we go back to the well with this same situation. I think Dollars for Scholars is challenged with kids filling out applications even for it, so either kids are flush with cash or they don't, or parents are, or somebody is, or they don't care. I don't know what it is.
Or just assumed.
Yeah,
that-
it's gonna be okay,
Yeah.
because everyone's eligible for it, you know?
But then they're leaving a lot, there's a lot that are Dollars
but
for
I'm
Scholars,
saying that's what
but
they-
they don't, but they don't even apply for a lot of them on the Dollars for Scholars side of it. I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm sure that would get people,
yeah,
Yeah.
we can bring it up again.
any questions for? Trees look good out there?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, moving on, SRCTC minutes, you can see them for you. It's 8 o'clock meetings. Anything else for the good of the order?
So just reminder to finance committee, the meeting next week.
Yep, and then a special board meeting for canvassing on the 22nd. That could be a call in the next 2 minutes just to.
Yes.
We will.
Congratulations to Carolyn.
You didn't vote them in yet?
Right?
Not official.
And just to clarify, mailings don't count anymore. You have to have received them. No, postmarks don't work.
I heard that.
No, the day of.
No, they said by 7, they had to receive them by 7 AM on the date.
I have to receive.
Oh, yeah,
them.
that's, yes, absolutely.
I'm close on Wednesday, so postmarks don't. So really, unless there's a recall or not a recall, a recount or something, no additional item.
So, yeah, so if they mailed it Monday, but you don't, and even though you get it tomorrow, you had to get in possession.
I had to be in possession of it before 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Makes people, I mean, this expedites otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
and with the mail service, I think you could have some out there for 2 weeks.
Actually, I think I have 12 outstanding, but doesn't mean I'm gonna get it back, because if they send them to the county and check, well, I have to send them, you know.
I'd be curious to see if any came in. And if-
I was surprised none were in there this morning. I made sure I checked them later yesterday and
I understand why. Yeah, we do. You know, for the do the order, hearing none, meeting adjourned.